They are modern-day gods, capturing our imagination with superhuman powers. They can fly, they can fight, they save us from evil forces. Superman, ever the strong, stoic good guy, now cast in a new light. Tonight, we've got an all-access pass to the blockbuster movie of this summer. And we meet the newest Man of Steel for what Hollywood hopes will be many years to come. ABC's Chris Connolly reports.
He's back. And this Man of Steel has the total package. Speed, sizzle, super strength.
You think you can threaten my mother?
Also, he's nice.
You okay?
A classic character, headlining one massively anticipated summer movie. And we've got behind-the-scenes access.
That felt incredible.
With the all-star cast.
My heart was racing.
It gave me goosebumps. Did that really happen?
His superpowers and do-good demeanor, that cape rippling through the air, have made Superman a pop culture icon.
Sir?
It's a legacy that would daunt any actor, especially on first hearing the news of his casting.
And I thought, oh my goodness, I'm Superman.
When he came out in that suit for the first time, I was like, okay, this is crazy. We're making a Superman movie.
For while snarky or obsessed comic book superheroes have found 21st century box office gold, the straight arrow Superman has not.
Statistically speaking, it's still the safest way to travel.
Is Superman cool?
Is Superman cool? It doesn't get any cooler. I mean, he's got all the cool superpowers, and he's cool. I mean, people say, okay, Superman's not cool. What, because he does the right thing all the time? It's like, how is doing the right thing not a cool thing to do?
Superman has always been the best and greatest superhero because he's kind of the most purest mythology of what a superhero is.
Look, up in the sky, it's a bird.
It's a plane!
It's Superman!
Created in Depression-era Cleveland by Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel, the car-lifting star of the $1 million collectible Action Comics #1, square-jawed Superman has seen 75 years atop the superhero food chain.
Superman!
Each era got the soup it deserved. The 50s had stolid George Reeves, a kid-friendly idol. By the late 70s and 80s, it was Christopher Reeve, the movie's inspiring filmmakers of this generation.
Easy, miss. I've got you.
You've got me! Who's got you?
I grew up watching Superman that Dick Donner made in 1978. And, you know, the trailer for that movie came up when you were a kid, and it was Marlon Brando and Glenn Ford and Ned Beatty and all of these incredible actors. It had an epic quality to it that seemed to befit the character, the icon.
Produced by Nolan, he of the $1 billion Batman reinvention. Man of Steel gives Superman some depth, contrasting his origins on the planet Krypton and his earthly upbringing.
You're the answer, son. You're the answer to are we alone in the universe?
I don't want to be.
Setting him up for one serious identity crisis.
I think it's the thing that's often sort of overlooked about Superman is that he is an alien. He's from another world entirely.
You're scared of me because you can't control me. You don't. And you never will. But that doesn't mean I'm your enemy.
He wants the acceptance of his adoptive world. That's really the journey that he's on.
Clark, you have to keep this side of yourself a secret.
Urged as a child to conceal his powers, this pre-Superman Clark Kent is a drifter. But when an invasion by Krypton's General Zod puts Clark in the interplanetary crosshairs,
I will find him!
the suit goes on, and those 3D beatdowns begin.
I mean, these fight sequences are epic. You'd be like, okay, today we're doing the punch. And so you spend 12 hours getting the punch right.
I wanted the flying to be violent. Where if you were Superman, you had to get somewhere, and there was no limit to how fast you could go. You wouldn't just cruise over there. You just...
Man of Steel's sinew is strengthened by its A-list supporting cast. Oscar winner Russell Crowe plays Superman's Kryptonian father, Jor-El.
There was just something about the problem that Jor-El faces where he has to sacrifice the time he has with his son in order to save his son. So that kind of affected me, gave me goosebumps.
And who will decide which bloodline survives on?
I was stunned how complex the script was. I think I've probably stated publicly hundreds of times over the last 20-odd years that, don't look for me in a comic book movie because I'm not going to be there.
You let them handcuff you?
Wouldn't be much of a surrender if I resisted.
Amy Adams plays Lois Lane as a hard-charging journalist.
Well, what can I say? I get writer's block if I'm not wearing a flak jacket.
Drawn to the soon-to-be Soup less by his strength and more by his vulnerability.
What's the S stand for?
It's not an S. On my world, it means hope.
Well, here it's an S.
But you're no damsel in distress in this movie.
No, I'm not. I definitely get myself in situations which require saving.
But for all its well-known stars, high-tech whiz-bang, and who am I inner struggle, Man of Steel is resting its franchise potential on the shoulders of a near-total unknown, 30-year-old Englishman, Henry Cavill.
Henry's a great actor. He's a great-looking guy. He looks like Superman. But he also has there's an earnestness to him.
That quality showed up early on, as he sheepishly donned a replica of Christopher Reeve's Superman suit during a final Man of Steel audition.
I wasn't physically ready for the suit, and it's basically a spandex outfit. And I just thought, there's no way I'm getting this role. I mean, you can act as hard as you want, but you can't act not fat.
Teased for his weight as a young teen in board school, mindful of the rootlessness of the actor's life, Cavill connected with Clark Kent.
Talked about Clark Kent, you talked about how we all can tap into that sense of loneliness that he feels. Where did that time in your life come?
When hasn't it come? In boarding school, I was very homesick, didn't have many buddies, so I felt very lonely there. Acting is a lonely life. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it's a great life as well. It can be very hard work, but there's a sense of loneliness to it.
That loneliness may be a thing of the past. As Man of Steel is released worldwide, Cavill is poised for a 0 to 60 fame experience few have known.
You're playing Superman, and you won't be able to walk anywhere for the rest of your life without people knowing your face. I mean, and Henry doesn't have the kind of being or face that can just disappear.
Yet Cavill nearly did just that. Well into his career, he was known more for the roles he'd almost played. Cedric Diggory in Harry Potter, James Bond. He'd even been cast as Superman in a J.J. Abrams-written version that was never shot.
Well, how close did you ever come to saying, this just isn't going to happen for me?
I came very close. I was getting very close to a lot of jobs and not getting them. And I started to think, maybe I'm not the guy. Maybe I should leave and go join the forces.
Yet just being part of the 007 conversation gave him the confidence to push on.
The Bond screen test came along first, and I got right down to the second guy, and I thought, hey, you know what? Maybe there is something in this. And here we are years later, standing in a room, and there's a model of me with a Superman suit on.
Now, for a new generation, he is the embodiment of a timeless superhero.
I think trying to make doing the right thing okay and cool is what sort of Superman's about.
It's got to be surreal just to stare at that now.
It's incredibly surreal. You know what? It might even take me months to process and years to process, but it's just great to be here, enjoying the moment.
I'm Chris Connolly for Nightline in Los Angeles.